The miracle delivery, how the world's most controversial wrist rebuilt a nation. The flick of Muttiah Muralitharan's wrist was once the most feared weapon in international cricket. For years, scientists studied it, umpires questioned it, and batsmen succumbed to it. But in December 2004, that same motion did something impossible. While the great tsunami leveled nations, this forgotten spinner used his legendary status to outmaneuver a broken system. This is the untold story of how the world's greatest bowler delivered his most important wicket against death itself. 1. The impossible wrist and the great wave. On the morning of December 26, 2004, the Indian Ocean didn't just rise, it reclaimed the land. Sri Lanka's coastline was erased in minutes. Muralitharan was supposed to be in the path of the wave. He was traveling to a charity event in Seenigama, but a twist of fate delayed his departure. While the water claimed 35,000 lives in his homeland, Murali stood amidst the wreckage. He wasn't a cricket legend that morning, he was a survivor. The central conflict was immediate. The government was paralyzed, and international aid was strangled by red tape. Murali realized that the same spin he used to baffle batsmen would now have to be used to spin a web of global logistics. 2. Turning fame into a rapid response engine. In the days following the disaster, bureaucracy was the second disaster. Shipments of food and medicine were sitting in ports, stuck in proper channels. Murali didn't wait. He utilized the Murali effect. He personally drove to the most isolated villages. When he arrived, the soldiers and officials didn't see a civilian, they saw a god. He bypassed the paralyzing paperwork, using his global fame to force doors open. Witnesses recall seeing the world's highest wicket-taker personally unloading flour sacks and water crates from trucks. His legendary wrist, usually reserved for the leather ball, was now calloused from moving the weight of a nation's survival. 3. The blueprint for recovery. The foundation of goodness. Survival is a sprint. Rebuilding is a marathon. Murali knew that once the news cameras left, the suffering would remain. Through the foundation of goodness, Murali turned his attention to long-term structural rebuilding. He didn't just want to provide tents, he wanted to build a model for the future. Seenigama village, what was once a pile of rubble, became a miracle of urban planning. The stats. He spearheaded the construction of over 1,000 homes, medical centers, and world-class sports facilities. He applied the same meticulous precision he used to plan a 5-wicket haul to the engineering of clean water systems. He proved that an athlete's greatest delivery happens when the stadium is empty. 4. The 2026 perspective, a generational ripple. Looking back from 2026, Muralitharan's intervention changed the DNA of sports philanthropy. He proved that an icon isn't just a brand ambassador, they are a logistical powerhouse. He forged partnerships with his greatest rivals. Men like Shane Warne and Steve Waugh, who fought him on the pitch, stood beside him to rebuild villages. It wasn't about cricket. It was about the hidden statistics, the thousands of children who now have clean water and the thousands of families who did. You want to become permanent refugees because a spinner decided to act. A legacy beyond the record books. Muttiah Muralitharan has 800 test wickets. It is a record that may never be broken, but in the grand tally of history, those 800 wickets pale in comparison to the thousands of lives he stabilized. The lesson he leaves us is simple. A platform is only as valuable as the action you take when the world stops watching. His unconventional path remains the ultimate delivery in the history of the sport. I couldn't stop the wave, Murali once reflected, but I could make sure the people it left behind weren't forgotten by the world.